May I request our Honorable Chief Guest to deliver us his address.
My dear friends, Dr. Mashelkar, Honorable Chancellor, my dear friend, Dr. Pandit, Honorable Vice Chancellor, thank you very much for your kind words and your very inspirational speeches. Professor Sharma, all the deans, professors, administrators, guests, and of course, our dear graduates. The entire chemical industry owes so much to UDCT. From its inception in 1933 and now as autonomous ICT. It has spread its wings far and wide, taken new campuses in its stride, spawned startups and giant corporations spread across many nations. And as for the Godrej Group, it's always been in the loop. And when it was UDCT, my father would then oversee doctoral students diligently. Much has been done in his memory. An oils and fats laboratory, a chair in green chemistry and sustainability engineering. We are proud to be pioneering. We saw this as a collaboration for both the group and the nation. My thanks to all at ICT and Professor Sharma and Yadav particularly. I'm sure many of you would know dear Dr. Pandit helped us grow. From collaboration, benefits flow. And Professor Lali was able to show how rapeseed could be detoxified. This process is now true and tried. Dr. Mashelkar is a great support. His advice is always sought. Your graduates help us succeed. They have the very skills we need. Their contribution we clearly see in both production and R&D. They also know how to lead. With their help, we succeed. There are problems in the world, and each year more are unfurled. Now, climate change has been there. The pandemic then brought its share. And since the Russia-Ukraine war, the world has had then to endure an unexpected commodity boom. All these dangers constantly loom. Some countries succumb to all this flack, but India's on a better track. The last 2 years we could survive, but now it seems that we can thrive. While some may see doom and gloom, for chemicals, it is a boom. Earlier, China's costs were low. Supplies from there did help us grow. Their pollution laws were very lax. Their governments now on their backs. Their costs then rose, some had to shift, and this could give us all a lift. Their competition is now less, and though we could be in a mess if intermediates rise in price, our industry now finds it nice that we can backward integrate, and I can confidently state, with just a little R&D, there is much light that we can see. Sometimes a slightly higher cost, but nothing much is really lost, because reliability is what we gain from a more secure internal chain. Now, Atmanirbhar is the call, so never again will we stall just because supplies are late. Backward integration's great. Now, Chinese lockdowns perpetuate. For businesses, this isn't great. For India, there's an opportunity. A chemical boom is what we see. We can't tell if it will last for long, but right now, nothing's going wrong. For all of you, there's opportunity in the chemical industry, and biotechnology is on the rise, so tracking this would be wise. It is no longer climate change within a tolerable range. A crisis is what it's about, with fires, floods, as well as drought. Every week, a constant blast, far worse than seen in the past. If we must, we will adapt. Prevention, though, would be more apt. There is a cost to adaptation. It's rising fast in every nation, as well as for the world at large. This will be a heavy charge. In fact, we should all conclude prevention, though, would be shrewd. It actually would cost much less and avoid a lot of stress. Our industry should play a role in the carbon neutral goal. GHG emissions should be reduced. More green energy should be produced. With fossil fuels, what we can see is flexibility in a high degree, as ramping up is very quick. But when green energy is what we pick, no matter how hard we try, we can't control our supply. We can't commence or interdict. At best, we can try and predict. Solar and wind are both this way. But if we can bring into play as fuels solid biomass or biofuel and biogas, we certainly would then see more flexible green energy. And nuclear energy can play a role in the carbon neutral goal. Now, biomass cogeneration makes sense for a continuous operation. In palm oil mills, we use our own, but biomass that's specially grown or byproduct biomass, such as shell powder or bagasse, can now be sourced quite easily. A low-cost source for every industry. And bamboo is another way. Growing more can save the day. While petrol and diesel are highly taxed, the coal cess is much more relaxed. One would think it would be nice if it tracked a proper carbon price. This does serve to incentivize green fuels, but wouldn't be also wise to incentivize feedstocks that are green? Greener technology will then be seen. Let fuels and feedstocks both be clean. No longer gray, but blue or green. Whether liquid, solid, methane, or H2, let's switch from gray to green or blue. Fossil fuels have had their day. It will take time to phase them away. But before we go completely green, there is some hope that can be seen. The mines, the fields from which we source can also be a rich resource. Now CO2 can take us far when it's used for EOR, enhanced oil recovery. But when you use even more, some more oil's pushed out for sure, though not enough to make it pay. A carbon price would pave the way, and technology would save the day. Clean hydrogen is what we need if we are to really succeed. Many technologies can be seen. Some are blue, some very green. From coal or gas with sequestration, for fossil fuel reforming, a reformation. Electrolysis using green energy. Another option that we see is reforming of solid biomass, or why not even biogas. This hydrogen would be green, but if sequestration's also seen, that would be quite another hue, a combination of green and blue. The coolest color, which I feel we could then call cyan or teal. There's scope for both green and blue as long as it's a cleaner hue. But in order to properly reap the benefits, it should be cheap. Good solutions should be in place, as they could prove to be our ace. Green chemistry has always been there, but all the same, it's only fair to state that now it's to the fore, and the emphasis is that much more. The cause by now would have been lost had we always incurred a cost. While planet saving led the way, now we know that it can pay. Harmful waste is very bad, but any waste is very sad. For after all, waste is lost, and so indeed, unneeded cost. For saving waste, it's always nice to have our reactions quite precise. Of course, green chemistry is clean, but it also pays because it's lean. Much progress we now clearly see with nano and biotechnology. Crop yields are all on the rise, and so it's not a big surprise. Natural feedstocks are catching on. The fossil way may soon be gone. Of course, every chemist knows of oil and starch and cellulose. We've used sucrose and ethanol and started using glycerol. But now that in the recent days we'd made progress with cellulase, cheap, simple sugars can lead the way, the dawning of a glorious day. And soon we'll make a giant leap. As green energy gets very cheap, we can go where it's stranded or where power can't be landed. Iceland, the Sahara come to mind. Other distant places we could find and could make methanol from CO2 and formic or oxalic acid too. Professor Yadav's trying hard. Catalysts are his trump card. Many benefits can be seen. Fossil fuels could be made green. There are many paths that we can see for achieving carbon neutrality, but the cheapest way is certainly through energy efficiency. Real interest rates are rather low, and high returns quickly flow from any energy-saving device. For business, this is very nice. Not only are returns quite brisk, there's also very little risk. In India, mandated CSR can help us go very far. Multiple benefits are what one sees with water projects or growing trees. Good livelihoods are created. Our carbon emissions are abated. Trees planted at a river source maintain the flow throughout its course. So many benefits we can see. The preservation of biodiversity, different species can be tried. Useful products can be supplied, like biomass or edible fruits, and yet the trunk and the roots can sequester carbon, clean the air, a win-win that is very fair. So while we decarbonize, why not also monetize? So never fall for either or. Our hearts and minds demand much more. Neutrality can come with ease, though some may think I'm a tease. The environment isn't all. On society, let's take a call. Throughout the chain, let's keep in sight every person's human right. It's business as usual, not bravery, to end child labor and slavery. And in all businesses, we should see the broadest reach of diversity. Not only is it fair and right, it would give us the best insight. Since life is full of hard knocks, we need to think out of the box. Diversity is the perfect aid when we are required to wade through troubled waters or quagmires. Unusual thought is what inspires. Ingeniously, we can plan it, serve profit, people, and planet. Sustainability is not a pain, for after all, it is a gain. It helps us all to survive, last long as well as to thrive. It's a license to operate. The ecosystem finds its great. Society, governments, banks cooperate, convey their thanks. Together, with both heart and brain, sustainably, let's sustain. The world is changing very fast, and nothing now seems like the past. So to survive in this rat race, new skills at a rapid pace must constantly be acquired to ensure that you're not fired. And what those future skills will be is difficult to foresee. And so you'll need agility, broader learning, and flexibility. Not just knowledge, but its application in an actual, real-life situation. Quite rarely alone, mostly in teams, and team dynamics, it seems, will be important for success. Thus, specific knowledge might be less important than interacting well and knowing enough to tell what would be well worth a try. Experiment and adapt on the fly. And even though you're busy earning, make sure you're always learning. Have lots of fun, but never shirk. And always try to enjoy your work. Indeed, if work becomes your passion, that's fine. Or else try and fashion something else that is exciting. And carefully we should tread, but happiness should be spread. Happiness requires good health, but not success or much wealth. All studies show that in the end, the more people that you befriend, the happier you yourself will be. One sees this very clearly. What goes around comes around. is good advice that's very sound. And once you clearly understand our purpose is giving a helping hand, much happiness will come your way as sure as night follows day. Indeed, it could be the case there will be problems that we face, but if our values are very strong and we refuse to do what's wrong and try and lend a helping hand and make an effort to understand all people with a different view, your thought processes will renew. Then brilliant ideas will surely flow and lead you where you need to go. Indeed, if you now see the light, your future will be very bright. Thank you.